Hello, BookTube. It's Friday, so I thought I'd do a Friday Reads. I've got something to actually speak about, which recently hasn't really been, or recent months hasn't really been the case. Sort of ongoing with recovering from COVID. Sort of in, I think, the long COVID period because I was diagnosed with it beginning of February while I was in hospital with a heart attack. So, sort of a nice present they left me with. I had a nurse, well, actually, I think she was a paramedic from the surgery that came out. The doctor was concerned mostly, I think, about my blood oxygen levels because of my breathing. And I explained that if I sort of sit like this, I'm not so bad. Once I move around, or especially lay down, my breathing gets quite bad. So the paramedic came out. I don't know why they even bothered coming out. It was sort of a wasted trip to some ways, but I learned two things. I explained sort of how I feel and stuff like this, that I can't sleep. I've still got, lack of taste pretty well, fully, no smell, fatigued. And yeah, I don't really sleep because I can't lay down properly. And her basically reply was, "You've had COVID, so it's expected," and then left. I thought that was very helpful. But it turned out my blood oxygen levels are okay. She listened to my lungs and sort of explains, I guess, why I have a bit of a problem because only the upper parts of my lungs, about the upper half, one better than the other, is sort of getting oxygen in. So hence, I'm running on half cylinders, I suppose. Hence, and occasionally I can get a deep breath, but I have to struggle a little bit, and especially when I move or lay down, it just obviously gets worse. But so, and it's sort of a thing where I'm just gonna have to wait and see. This could be temporary, and hopefully my lungs will bounce back, or this could be a permanent thing. It's sort of unknown, and I guess I'm sort of early days with the long COVID, or not even actually considered fully long COVID yet, because I think it's sort of 12 weeks plus is now the guidelines for long COVID, so they keep pushing it backwards or forwards or whatever they want. But anyway, so the week was okay. I did quite a bit of reading, more than I have done for a while. I still sort of have the brain fog. I'm assuming that's what it is. Concentration difficulties. So when it's there, I exploit it. The concentration is there. I exploit it and read as much as I can, unless I'm sort of falling asleep and dozing off, which is happening a lot because I'm not sleeping properly. So I get bursts of energy, and then all of a sudden I just sort of tank and just but not sleep fully, but just doze. But I finished reading earlier in the week, Lost Horizons. I did a little video of it if you're interested, with regards to the film, sort of comparing it to the film. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it back up on my piles here. So I did a little video of that, and then I went on to read Beau Geste by P.C. Wren, Percival Christopher Wren. And that was a little longer, but dust or something on the front page edges. This is just a cheap thrift, Dover thrift edition that I picked up really, really cheaply. So, and as I say, last year I was, for a couple years, I guess, I've been sort of buying when I see them cheap, books that are for films. And then last year I was buying Blu-rays and DVDs every month a certain amount of a few things, because when I was working from home, um, I was saving money on taxis. So I thought, well, I'll sink a little bit of money into things that I've wanted to do so I can have a bit of a stockpile, which I'm sort of glad I did, because this has allowed me to now do this. And yeah, this was an enjoyable read. I thought I'd read it before when I was a kid, but after reading it, I'm not sure if I have. It is first of, I think there's 4 novels sort of in the cycle, and a collection of short stories. I will probably do a video of it because I had watched the film as well. It's William A. Wellman direction and produced, Wild Bill Wellman, in 1939, with Gary Cooper and the title role Beau Geste, Ray Milland, and Robert Preston. But it also co-starred, well, in a very sort of, she doesn't say much, is Susan Hayward. Brian Donlevy plays the really bad bad guy in it. J. Carrol Naish, and a bunch of other sort of, faces that you sort of recognize in classic film. And it was good. The film was very good. But I'll go into details. The book, I enjoyed it, but I have reservations about it. And as I say, I will probably leave those to the little, well, I'm not going into deep analysis. I'm just sort of superficially comparing the story to the film, and just, maybe some background to the film, or just, little snippets. And we'll see how that goes. The next one, I thought I'd just try something a little more, well, lighter, but it's not really that light. I'd read the book probably 30, 40 years ago, and watched the film, and I enjoyed it. And I thought, and I had it again, is To Sir with Love by R.A., or is it R.A.? No, E.R. Braithwaite, I think it is. Yeah, E.R. Braithwaite, which was published in 1959. Oh, the Beau Geste was 1924, I think it was. But yeah, so I'm enjoying this again. I'm sort of reading it in a little different light now, having been in England for 15 years. Well, I'm into my 16th year now, I think, in England. So I'm reading it in a slightly different light. I'm just, a quarter of the way through, or just over a quarter of the way through. I should be. It's very, very simple reading, so I should be able to, knock it off fairly quickly. Definitely in the next couple of days. At least I'm hoping, unless my reading sort of slacks again, which it could. And then I've got the film as well, Sidney Poitier. That was done in 1967. It was produced, directed, and screenplay by James Clavell. Yes, I believe it is James Clavell, the author of Shogun and all that, as far as I can remember. And it's got Lulu, and it's got the hit song, To Sir with Love. And I enjoyed the film too, but it's again probably 20 years, or at least, no, more than that, probably about 25 years since I've watched the film. And it was interesting. There's a little booklet in here. I'll get into more detail, but it had some quotations from reviews, contemporary reviews, and they're all panning it. Many did not like it for a variety of reasons, and I'll get to that. The next one after that, which I'm hoping will be, hopefully I'll start reading it like Saturday, is Treasure of the Sierra Madre, by B. Traven. And it's basically it's a story of adventure. Well, it's looking for gold in the Sierra Madres, and it was made into a fabulous film by John Huston. It's too small writing. I can't remember off the top of my head when it was done, but it's got Humphrey Bogart in it. It's got Walter Huston, John Huston's father, and John Huston has a little cameo, or two little cameos. He's a guy that's walking along, and Humphrey Bogart, like he begs him for some money, and he does it twice. So, and there's a bit of snarky remark from John Huston. But it's remember, it's a fabulous film. I have not read the book. I've wanted to read this for a long time. It's got a bit of a reputation to it. Like it says here, little is known for certain about B. Traven. Evidence suggests that he was born Otto Fag in Schleswig-Holstein in northern Germany, and he escaped a death sentence for his involvement with the anarchist underground in Bavaria. Traven spent most of his adult life in Mexico, where under various pen names he wrote several bestsellers and was an outspoken defender of the rights of the Mexico's indigenous peoples. He was favorite writer of Albert Einstein and is thought by many critics to have been the inspiration for Bino von Achimabaldi, the hero of Robert Bolaño's epic 2666. Not familiar with that, I must say. First published in 1935, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Traven's most famous and enduring work is the dark, savagely ironic, and riveting story of three down-and-out American hunting for gold in Sonora. So that'll be fun to read, and I don't know what else he's written. It says that he was fairly prolific under different pen names. So there it is. There's Death Ship. I wonder if that's what there's a film that's called Death Ship. The Creation of the Sun and Moon. There's a film of that as well, I believe. So there's quite a few other. Bridge in the Jungle, Land of Springtime, The Cotton Pickers. So there'll be lots to if I do like him, then to look up other things. Also, probably during the next week here, I will be, I think, because I sort of found it, is my copy of Brideshead Revisited. Steve Donahue and Matthew at the Mayberry Book Club are doing a read-along with this. It's 20 plus years since I've read it last. I picked up this copy. It's a newer Penguin Modern Classic from my bookstore. I think it could be almost 2 years ago now. They got a whole bunch of penguins in and a bunch of other stuff, and this was like really cheap, so I picked it up because I hadn't had a copy here in the UK. Originally published in 1949. I love it. I've read it twice now, so and I've been thinking about rereading it recently, because I'd actually like to reread because there's Yves Lenoir a lot more than I just reread. And there's probably about 3 or 4 books that I haven't read of his, but I'd like to read more. It's going to be read sort of throughout the month, so a quarter of it every week. Steve says his volume, and I think Matthew said like 350 pages. This one is 450 pages, but if you look, it's almost double spaced. So I'm not sure. It's in sort of 3 parts. So, and then there's sections for each. I'll probably I think I could probably do up to 100 pages would be the first, I suppose. It's at the end of the 4th section of the book 1, Et in Arcadia Ego. The end of Sebastian at Home, Lord Marchmain Abroad. I'm looking forward to that, but also I'm going to fit this in, I think, with my normal thing because I have the 19 early 80s. Trying to see if I can see a date on it. Sometime in the early 80s, I believe it is. It's ITV production of it. It's in 11 parts. It's with Jeremy Irons, Anthony Andrews, and it also has Claire Bloom in it as Lady Marchmain, which she goes back to the silent ones. She sort of, I think her first film, she was a dancer, but first film was fabulous film by Charles Chaplin, City Lights. It's one of my favorite films of all time, actually, I think. Not City Lights. Limelight. Light is in it. See, that's where the brain fog is. Limelight. And she played a young dancer. But this looks pretty good because it's got commentaries. I don't know if commentaries on every episode. That'd be kind of nice if there's detailed commentaries on these. It's 4 discs and 11 episodes, so this is DVD. I don't know if it's ever been done in Blu-ray, but this is, again, something I picked up last year, and it was great. I think it's still like about under £12 on Amazon, but I think I got it for like, $6.99 or something like that, or less. So I was pleased at that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. And this week also passed as my birthday, so let's just leave it as I've left quite a while ago, many years ago. I'm well into I'm not well, but I'm into the second century of my life. Also, what I want to do is like I said, I think at some point I said there was a couple tags that I was tagged in, and I couldn't remember exactly where they were, but I have found the one. James Holden created a tag, the Agatha Christie tag, and I've sort of refound that, thankfully, through other people doing it recently, and it's very interesting. But I'm gonna have to put my thinking cap on because they're clever questions, and I've got to think about the answers to that. And I looked at when he posted it. He posted this on January 25th, and then I promptly had a heart attack that day. Don't think it was any reflection, James, on your tag. And it wasn't. I didn't have the heart attack to get out of it, but I will eventually get to it. And then somebody else tagged me in something around that time or before. I have to track that down. If anybody has tagged me, just let me know, and I'll try to find it. If Bill Rutenberg, if you're watching, I seem to think that you had tagged me in something. If it was, just let me know in the comments, and I will eventually get to them. As I say, there was another one, and it could have been you that did it. But yeah, so and I think this is Easter this weekend as well. So happy Easter if you celebrate. I'm gonna be just chilling and reading, as that's all I do these days, or at least these past little while. So have a great reading week, BookTube. Take care.